If you're an Xbox Game Pass member looking to grind some Gamerscore, then you've probably already cracked the classic titles like What Remains of Edith Finch and Telltale's The Walking Dead, and you've probably had a great time doing it too. Fortunately, new games are constantly being added to the service, and on top of being immensely fun to play, many of them are pretty generous with the old achievements as well.
Lost Words Beyond the Page is a delightful puzzle platformer that's sure to be a hit with any bookworms out there. In fact, Xbox head honcho Phil Spencer even recommended it personally, and he seems to know a thing or two about video games. Lost Words takes place inside a fantasy realm that exists within the pages of a young girl's journal, meaning you can transform the whole place with a few well-placed adjectives. And even if you don't have any literacy inclinations, it's a fun game with a treasure trove of achievements that can all be unlocked in just 4 or 5 hours. You'll get a good chunk of its 1000 Gamerscore just for playing its enchanting story, and then you can flick back through some of your favorite passages to round up those last pesky fireflies and do a few other fun odds and ends. You even get one achievement called It's a Miracle, just for doing all the washing up. And think how proud your mum will be too.
While city building sims are often a bit of a stress fest, Townscaper lets you conjure your own little metropolis into existence without having to worry about things like budgets, road planning, or anything at all really. You just drop bits into place however you like and watch it all mesh together organically. All of which is even more delightful when it's taking place in smooth 60 FPS on Xbox Series X or S. And that laid-back approach extends to its Gamerscore, by the way, all 1000G of which you can snag in under an hour if you like. There are only 10 achievements to get after all, and none of them are going to stress your grey matter too much. Build a garden and you'll unlock the gardener. Decorate that garden with a sculpture and you'll get the sculptor. It really couldn't be much simpler. The most demanding one might be Rome wasn't built in a block, which requires you to place 1000 blocks, but each one makes such a satisfying pop sound when you put it down that even this is sure to be a relaxing experience, like popping virtual bubble wrap.
While some people enjoy kicking back with a tranquil game like Townscaper, others find it easier to blow off steam with the sort of pure, unrestrained carnage that is DEEEER Simulator. That's DEEER in capitals, and with an extra E by the way. In this wacky sandbox, your only real mission is to roam around with minimal regard for the safety and well-being of yourself, those around you, or anything at all really. Case in point, you'll unlock the self-sacrifice achievement and snag 30 Gs just for getting hit by a truck. Which is a pretty easy thing to do at the best of times, but given that it's how DEEER Simulator actually begins, you really are on easy street here. A street which you should cross very carefully because, again, trucks. Once you've done that, all of the rest of the game's achievements can be unlocked pretty swiftly, so long as you stick with the game's chaotic spirit. The Counting Sheep achievement and its 70 Gs are yours as soon as you defeat 100 of the Woolly Warriors, while you'll scoop another 30 Gs and the Deer Hunting one for acquiring 30 different weapons. Yes, we said weapons.
The Pedestrian is a really clever little puzzle platformer where you play as a stick figure, navigating a 2D world made mostly of signs. And as luck would have it, the vast majority of the game's achievements are also exceptionally well signposted, allowing you to scoop up all but one just by progressing through the story. The exception is called Skyline Cake, and to get it you'll need to track down all 5 of the game's secret rooms. As you're leaving the 5th and final one, you'll wander past the titular baked goods sitting on a balcony and the achievement will unlock. Obscure achievements like this are ideal for Xbox Series X and S gamers who can seamlessly flick between the game and a guide in their YouTube or web browser apps, making it even easier to track down those secret rooms. The rest of those 1000 Gs can be yours in 3 to 4 hours too, and hey, at least the cake wasn't actually a lie this time.
If unlocking achievements makes you feel like a rock star, then you should definitely tune in to the Artful Escape. With its psychedelic visuals and mesmerizing music, this rainbow-colored platformer is one of the most dazzling things you'll find anywhere on Xbox, especially if you're rocking out in 4K on an Xbox Series X. And it's also a great place to pick up some serious Gs, with a full 1000 available in just a few hours. They're all pretty easy too. None more so than Stage Fright, which literally asks you to do nothing at all for 3 minutes during a jam. Plus, since rock and roll is all about self-expression, you'll also pick up a 50G achievement just for designing your own custom outfit. And it doesn't even have to look good. So you can pick out some choice threads, groove to that scintillating soundtrack, and watch the achievements come rolling in. Set in a beautifully realized vision of Belle Epoque Paris, Contrast is one of those games where you just want to take your time and soak it all up. On the other hand, you can also speed through it in a couple of hours and hoover up all 22 of its achievements if you're so inclined. So it's up to you. In fact, Contrast is so generous that it will even reward you for misbehaving. During Act 1, while you're supposed to be looking for the Ghost Note Theatre, you'll find a somewhat suspicious-looking door marked dirty. And no matter how confidently you try to stride through it, or how much you lower your voice, I'm afraid you're not getting in. But you will unlock an achievement called Not That Kind of Game just for trying. And really, it's hard to think of an easier achievement than one you get for not quite managing to walk through a door.
Telling Lies is another narrative-driven game that sees you poring over hours of video call footage to try and get to the bottom of a criminal case. If you're the sort of person who spends a lot of time in front of their computer, randomly clicking around and finding ways to procrastinate rather than getting on with whatever it is you're supposed to be doing, then you're in luck. Telling Lies rewards exactly that sort of time wasting. If you take a break from your investigation just to tidy up those unnecessary desktop icons or play a few hands of solitaire, you'll be able to nab a couple of the game's hidden achievements, while another one is unlocked by bookmarking 20 different web pages. Gotta keep things organized after all. Finally, if you click on the Wi-Fi icon and try to guess the password 5 times, you'll be given the Forgot My Password achievement and 40G for your futile efforts.
Moving house might be one of the most stressful things you can do in real life, but Unpacking turns the whole process into a chilled out puzzle game that's perfect for unwinding with. And if you need a little more incentive to keep unloading those cardboard boxes, we hear there are a few achievements lurking at the bottom somewhere. You'll get an achievement for doing a lot of perfectly sensible things, like placing a hat on a head and turning a game console on. And then there are also a few for doing slightly more counterintuitive things like the electrical hazard, which you'll get for placing an electrical item somewhere dangerous. Just remember that you won't get an achievement for doing that one for real, you'll just get told off and also probably electrocuted, so just don't, okay?
A Memoir Blue is an interactive poem which is more concerned with roping you into its heart-tugging story than putting your gaming skills to the test. But it does use its achievements to draw you further into the spirit of the game, encouraging players to take their time and play around with whatever they find in each level just to see what happens. For example, light up the crane and billboard around sunset and you'll be treated with a view it would take a poet to describe, as well as an achievement called Glow Up. Then there's the Empty Your Cup one, which is worth a whopping 100 Gs and is yours just for removing all the ice from a glass. In fact, almost all of a Memoir Blue's achievements are actually missable, meaning this is another title where you might want to take advantage of a guide if hoovering up Gamerscore is your main concern. But the game also allows you to freely revisit any individual chapter you've completed, so the best route here might be just to enjoy the ride first time around and then double back to tidy up.
Rubber Bandits is all about unadulterated physics-based nonsense as you and a handful of other poorly coordinated characters do their best to pull off heists, beat each other with baguettes, and generally cause as much mayhem as possible. And along the way, sometimes you stumble onto an achievement or two as well. If you've got a couple of buddies to tag in, locally or online, you can snap up all 19 of Rubber Bandits achievements in just an hour or two, and you're almost guaranteed to get a whole lot of giggles into the bargain. Play a little catch and you'll soon unlock the Why Thank You achievement for grabbing a thrown item out of the air 10 times. And if one of you misses your catch, the other can claim the Hail Mary achievement and it's 50 Gs for hitting another player from far away. But in a game that's so enamored with destruction, the pick of the bunch has to be Anger Issues, which is yours as soon as you break 100 things. You should have no trouble rounding up your gang either. Rubber Bandits is available on both Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass and features cross-platform play.
The poetic point-and-clicker Genesis Noir is a game which raises all sorts of questions about life, the universe, and everything, without providing many clear answers about any of it. But if your main query was, can I get some easy achievements here? Then the answer is yes. Yes, you can. You'll scoop up all but one of them just for playing through its mind-bending tale of smoky barrooms, smoking guns, and star-swallowing black holes. And while the story itself bends time in all sorts of crazy directions, the whole game will only take you about 3 to 4 hours to complete. However, you'll still be one achievement shy after finishing the game. Without spoiling anything, not that you really can spoil a game this weird, Genesis Noir concludes by making you pick between 2 choices, each with their own ending and their own achievement attached. So once you've made your decision, hop back to the game's final section using the chapter selector to go all Robert Frost and try the road not taken, unlocking that last remaining achievement in the process.
The chance to play all sorts of interesting new games and sweep up a bunch of easy achievements. Seriously, where else but Xbox Game Pass are you going to get this kind of deal? Let us know which ones you'll be grabbing first down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell before you go. We'll see you next time.